was wondering, could you tell me, a little bit about StartUp, how it's going?
Yeah, right after you announce it. Check one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the pre-announcer announcing the one and only Gene Powell.
Thank you, Don. Don's my announcer, my Don Pardo, my Ed McMahon. So I got this microphone in my hand, and guess what? It's not for you to hear me with. It's for the camera over here, which we'll talk about in a second. So I have to talk loudly so you guys can hear me, and then the nice lady over here is going to adjust the volume so I don't completely blow out her eardrums, right? Good? Sibilance, check one. Check.
More cowbell.
More cowbell. So I'm Gene Powell. You're not. I am co-founder, really, of StartUp Toledo. It's amazing to see a lot of returning faces, familiar faces, and a lot of new faces here, which is super, super awesome. If you're joining us for the first time, we welcome you. We hope you'll come again. StartUp Toledo is a monthly celebration of our region's best and brightest innovators, creators, and entrepreneurs, for those of you who don't know, much like tonight's guest. Before we bring him on, I got a few announcements. I'll try to be brief. Hard for me, I know. And I'm used to talking with my hands, and I got this thing. Okay, so for the first time, and hopefully not the last, we'll be recording tonight's presentation. Joanne from Bluefin Media is donating her time and expertise in what we hope is a very, very successful test flight. I want to thank Bluefin as being tonight's media sponsor, and we hope there's more to come. So many thanks to Joanne and Bluefin Media. I would clap, but I got this thing. When I hold the wand, it's time to clap. How's that? Okay. I just learned about this. A community conversation will take place next Thursday at 6 at the Attic on Adams. Am I pointing in the right direction here?
Yep.
The organizers have labeled it a social experiment to discuss your community. And by community, they mean Toledo, okay? It's been put together by Making Lives Better and Communities Stronger in Toledo. I don't know who's behind it, who's organizing. Do you know?
Katie Rothgar and Kelly McGilvery, from what I can tell, two people who are very passionate about where they live and where they have a great community standing. Kelly McGilvery helped organize Artomatic 419, and Katie Rothgar helped organize Circle 2445, which is an art investing circle for a younger age group.
You know everything. And everyone. It's fantastic. So they're planning this as a conversation for concerns and challenges that we face as a region, and it's open dialogue, loose, informal, much like this. So get that on your calendars, which brings me to Maureen, our community manager of not only StartUp Toledo, but she's community cultivator of Seed Co-working down in South St. Clair. That's a new title we've given her. We thought cultivator was much more appropriate for the whole seed thing, right? Do you have other announcements?
Let's see here. Join us for Lunch and Learn down at Seed on May 15th. We're going to have Eric Bain from Toledo Bikes. Actually, Eric Bain, he's got 3 exclamation points at the end of his last name. And he's going to be talking about commuting with your bike, and he's going to be talking about how bikes are incorporated into your everyday life, and also how to make art out of them.
We're confusing this poor woman over here.
Sorry about that.
Anything else? Oh, where are we next month for StartUp Toledo?
Next month, we're at the University of Toledo at the Family Business Center.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a really awesome little Leighton Talks kind of situation for you. We've got 5 or 6 different speakers who are going to be talking about anything from how to get an intern, how to help them learn as much about your business as you can, how, let's see, what else? Sales, how to make sure that people who are curious about sales get the education that they need, and all sorts of good stuff.
Fantastic.
How to deal with family conflict in small companies, all sorts of good stuff.
So we'll be moving the show from here next month. Date again?
April 21st. Oh, May 21st.
May 21st. We'll be at UT. Get on our mailing list. Go to startuptoledo.com. Scroll down. Get on our mailing list, and you'll get the invite. We want you there. Okay. Any other announcements from this group? Anyone going once, going twice?
We're having a grand opening
Fantastic.
at Massage Bliss, 610 in between Ranya's and Bleak House, May 8th.
Nice.
We are having a grand opening. We're soft opening right now. We're currently opening and accepting clients, but Massage Bliss LLC is having a grand opening May 8th.
I feel like there's a joke. I feel like there's a joke in soft opening and massage, but I haven't pieced it together yet.
That's what my marketing advisor said.
Great. That's awesome. Well, that's awesome. Good for you.
marketing
Welcome to the neighborhood. Welcome to Toledo. Yeah. All right.
Both are in conjunction here.
Great. All right. Okay. New business. Fantastic. Let me tell you for a second about the switchboard. So if you go to startuptoledo.switchboardhq.com, here's what we did. We took the classified ads model and pared them down to two simple actions, an ask and an offer. Really simple. On Switchboard, you either ask for or offer whatever matters to the community. We invite you to use it as a resource. There's already people using it today. Things that you need, things that you want to give to make our home better. You can do so. Startup Toledo would not be possible without our amazing sponsors, Spoke Design, Ground Speed, Elevate, White Label Collaborative, Anderson Strategy, University of Toledo, and the great folks from CCI, SYN Associates, Buchanan and Nipper, Seed Co-working, Leidy and Moen, Rocket Ventures, Eastman and Smith, Buckeye One, and we've got two new sponsors this month, Andrew Weber Photography and Prime Digital Group. So let's give them a round of applause. And I also want to do just a little shout out to Bruce Rumpf, who's not here tonight. Job One USA has been a sponsor of ours for quite some time, and Bruce very reluctantly dropped out, and they're going to be steering their marketing dollars into a radio program that Bruce is running, I think on WSPD, with a focus on veterans. And if you know anything about Job One USA, they got a whole veterans program to bring get our veterans back to work when they return. So we want to thank Bruce for his many months of support, and we wish him well with the radio program. Okay. Deep breath. Here we go. Adam Sattler. Yeah! Dude, I don't even
I'm out.
I don't even
That's
get
the
that.
highlight right there.
I don't even get that.
Can you drop that mic
Let's
for
do
me
it.
and
Let's
we'll go get a beer?
I'm gonna do wait, let's do it again. Adam Sattler. But watch, this is magic. No, wait a second. Adam Sattler. Okay, all right. Has worked in marketing, design, web, and event management for 15 years. He worked for the University of Toledo, the Toledo Museum of Art, and Great Lakes Outfitters before leaving to start Appalling Media. I love that name. An e-commerce and design company. He later worked with the Earth Science Foundation as their communications director, where he helped them refocus their mission, purpose, and message. Most recently, Adam was the booking and promotions manager at the Ottawa Tavern, where he was employed when he co-founded The Village on Adams. He left the OT late last year, sadly, and The Village on Adams board of directors recently named him their acting executive director. Tonight, Adam's going to share how and why The Village on Adams got started, challenges they faced, what they've achieved, what they want to see happen in the neighborhood in the future, and how the right partnerships can help them realize their mission. I think you're going to be really excited by what you're going to see and hear tonight. Please help me welcome Adam Sattler.
No, I'm all mic'd up. This is fully professional.
I'm the schlub with the cable.
Yeah, I got the good one. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. If I'm a little nervous, it's because the last time I spoke in any sort of official capacity. I was on Channel 13 making up words. And so if I can get through tonight without making up a new word, I will consider it a complete success. I want to thank Gene Powell and Maurice Borgman for, everybody always gets Mo's name wrong, and Maureen Brogan for putting this together. We love StartUp. We love that it takes place in Uptown a lot, and we're really excited to be part of it. I also want to thank my mom and her husband, my dad, for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you guys showed up. It would have killed one of my 3 jokes. So that's it. I'm out. It's nothing. There's nothing funny from this point on. So you can go to the next one. There you go. So for those of you guys who don't know who we are, the Village on Adams is a nonprofit that focuses on creative placemaking in this neighborhood. And we do a lot more than that. We sort of work on anything that helps this neighborhood out, whether it's lighting projects or pocket parks, gardens, the zombie crawl, student scholarships for TSA kids, murals, public art. We're just sort of looking for ways to make this neighborhood better. By producing and hosting events, improving safety, creating and maintaining green space, fostering a presence of art, we're hoping to build a street where people want to spend more of their time. I think that was supposed to say money. But I don't work for any of the businesses on the street anymore, so that's less of a concern. So I'm going to talk about real quickly how we started. For years, I did all these so you guys would look at that and not the fact that my ears are real red when I get nervous. So just look at this. I spent a lot of time on those. For years, the employees and managers and business owners and residents of Adams Street always asked each other, how can we make this neighborhood better? We built sort of lists of practical improvements in our heads, which were parks and bike lanes, public art. We came up with long-term projects from historical lighting from one end of the street to the other, to establishing scholarship funds, to a weekend trolley loop that ran from the Old West End to Adams Street. And we, I think maybe sometimes most importantly, or at least the most fun thing that we did, was came up with sort of weird things to make this neighborhood more interesting. Whether that was a playground for adults or a beach park on Adams Street. And every time we came back to the same question, which is how do we fund these projects? This was not a group of owners and operators for the most part. This was, and if it was people just getting started. This was not people from the big institutions on the street. These were people that didn't, none of us had the money, and none of us had the means to get the funding to do this. So last summer, a few of us were having some drinks on the Ottawa Tavern patio, and we figured it out. And that's cut off, but that says the Adams Street Zombie Crawl. I don't know why that's cut off. No, it doesn't look. So thousands of people come to Adams Street every year for Zombie Crawl, the Block Party, Soundtrack, Mardi Gras, St. Patrick's Day, and they sort of show up in hordes, drop money on drinks and food, and then leave a disaster for us to clean up. And we love them for it. It's why there are 6 bars on this street today. But what we decided was that we would ask this captive, slightly intoxicated audience, hopefully receptive audience, if they would fund these projects. And we would do it through selling $5 wristbands. So we went 4 years of Zombie Crawl without selling a wristband, and in the 5th year we said, well, if we can take this money and do something good with it for the neighborhood, we can sell these wristbands for $5. So we did, and nobody complained, thankfully. So we figured we were already throwing these parties. Let's use these parties and put the money back into a community where all these people were already living and working and playing. So the bars on Adams Street, you can go to the next one. The bars on Adams Street all threw in a few $100, and we put on the first block party on Adams. That was at the end of last summer, and by inviting people out to hear some music on a Sunday afternoon, we ended up able to fund this organization. We took the money that we made from Block Party on Adams, we put it towards the 5th zombie crawl, and hosted the most successful zombie crawl to date. We had nearly 7,000 people come. And we are very proud to say, especially the people on the security committee, that it was without incident. I believe there's a broken window, but we paid for it. So,
We offered to.
oh, okay.
And I apologize for that.
So,
Actually, a girl.
so we took the money that we made from Zombie Crawl, and that led us into the winter. And so we spent the winter sort of planning, and when we got tired of planning and decided we needed to start funding some projects, we looked outside of our organization, looked at other community organizations. This is a mural that was, I'm going to blank on the artist, and I should have written it down.
Red shirt, sir?
There you go. And Art Corner Toledo, Rachel Richardson, put this together. And this is going to be going up at Adams and 13th, right next to the Love Wall, if you're familiar with where the Love Wall is. And we're very happy to help fund this, a majority of this mural. We also were able to make a contribution to Toledo Soup, which is a great organization. And they consistently put on their events in Uptown. We love what they do. They do micro grants. And we were able to fund another mural on Collingwood at the Collingwood Community Garden in exchange for some plants and berries and things like that that are going to be planted later in our parks. So as soon as the snow melted and sort of the sun started shining again, which, oh, look at that, it's back out. Look at that. We sort of hit the ground running, and before, which led us up to 419 Day. And before I talk about that, I want to talk about how in the winter we faced a number of challenges. And there were two main challenges we faced, and one was a funding challenge and one was a perception challenge. And if you can skip the next one and go to the one after that. Okay, so I don't know why this is getting cut off, but this says, oh great, another nonprofit, which is something that we heard a lot. There seem to be a number of places, especially if you look at what we're doing sort of in the realm of creative placemaking, that are looking for the same dollars. And so we decided early on we're not going to go for the same funding that the Arts Commission goes for. We're not going to go for the same funding that Uptown goes for. We're not going to fight with other members of our community that are already doing these great things. We're not going to fight for those same dollars. So we already had a built-in funding source. The problem with that built-in funding source, if you go backwards, is that it's a single source. We have single source funding. So this is the same girl from Zombie Crawl, but that's rain. And Ryan Bunch, who's a member of our board of directors, always says that we're one rainstorm or one crappy weather week away from losing our funding for a year. So if it rains or there's a tornado or something crazy for Zombie Crawl, we're in trouble. So one of the things that we did to look at that is we're starting to do more monthly events. So this summer we're going to be introducing a bazaar on Adams Street. We this morning just made it official. We have rented the parking lot on right at 14th, the big parking lot on your left-hand side, and we'll be throwing a big market there, inviting sort of anybody that sells anything out. We want to make it truly bizarre. And we're also, if all you guys promise not to tell anybody, we'll tell you about our traveling speakeasy night, but you're not allowed to tell anybody. But we'll be starting that Sunday, the night of Mother's Day Sunday, May 10th, at the Attic Patio, and it's just going to be sort of a monthly event. So we decided not to move out of what we already know, but still to sort of look at maybe some other ways of funding. The other thing that we were facing was some perception issues, and you go two ahead. That says, oh, that made it on the screen. Those damn kids. Even though most of us are in our mid-30s, because like I said, we're not a group founded from the institutions on the street. We're founded from bars. We're founded from bakeries. We're founded from freelancers, from designers, from artists, from craft people, a lot of people wouldn't take us seriously at first. And so we knew that these institutions are doing great things and that we needed to partner with them immediately. They're fantastic partners to have. The library is hosting our annual fundraiser on July 18th on the roof. Half of the proceeds from our auction for that are going to Toledo School for the Arts. It's a great neighborhood to work with these people, and we sort of just had to wait out the winter to get the word out that we are not like those damn kids, those new kids in the neighborhood. Also, a lot of us have been here for a very long time. Zach, how many years? 13. 13 years. I was here, it felt like 40. Tom, how long was it? I think it was 6. 5? I don't know. One other, real quick, I'll get through this. The one other perception issue that we had was that the bars were getting rich off of these events. There are 2 bar owners in this room, and they can tell you that the money that we were raising wasn't going to the bars. But that was a perception that people had, and so we immediately needed to start spending some money, which is sort of all we could do to fight that problem that we had with perception. Was let's start building things, let's start doing things, let's start funding projects. So on 419 Day, it was sort of our coming out party, and you can keep going. You're not even paying attention, are you? So I'm not sticking to my notes. I'm sorry. It's my fault. So 419 Day, for anybody that doesn't know, is a celebration of Toledo, of all things local, that started in the Uptown neighborhood maybe 4 years ago. And it was a big day for us. We unveiled the beginnings of 2 parks in underused lots. Are you with me? I'm right there. That was verbatim. All right, there you go. Might just be the shitty computer. This is our friend Anthony, who does a lot of work for us, and he is working on a 64-foot sand bocce ball court at the Corporal Max Klinger Sports Ball Complex. We decided we were going to have some fun when we named our parks. It's got the bocce court. It's got a soccer and football field in the back, and seatings with planters that are going to be full of edible herbs and fruits that are going to be provided through the Collingwood Community Garden that we were talking about before. The second, the P.J. O'Rourke Memorial Reading Room. And as the Blade points out, we are aware P.J. O'Rourke is not dead. We're just an organization of wishful thinkers. I didn't mean, that's terrible. That is terrible. That was, Dan has prepped some quotes where P.J. O'Rourke is real rude about the city. So that park features, that's across the street, the construction site. That features sod-covered living room furniture that was created by Derek Bunch at Green Space Solutions, and it'll have free mini libraries with books provided by the Toledo Public Library. We also partnered with Great Lakes Brewing Company, who generously funded a cleanup day and threw a party with drinks and food and entertainment for about 30 volunteers. Until the wind picked up, the Adams Street was about as clean as I've ever seen it. And then I swear all the downtown trash just blows right down our street. So we also created we made available 2 documents that we always sort of wanted and we talked about it as an organization. The first we call Open for Business, and it's a guide on opening or expanding a business in Toledo. We made it specific to Adams Street, but it covers everything from what tools and resources are available from the chamber, what's required by the state, how to get funding, how to get your licenses, how to set up a business, how to prepare for paying taxes, and we hadn't found anything like that comprehensively, and so we decided that we would create it. The second thing we did was a full map and directory of Adams Street, and we would sort of love to see this expand. We did existing businesses, institutions, parks, retail. We will be expanding that to available available real estate for commercial or residential. We also recently announced Fancy Pants Ball, which was initially called the Fancy Ass Ball, but when we got our dream location of the roof of the library, we changed the name to the Fancy Pants Ball, as they are a family organization.
It came up very early in the first.
Yes. So the Fancy Pants Ball will be on July 18th on the roof of the library, and the idea is that we're not a very formal organization, but everybody likes to go to a black tie event. So we're going to have a black tie event for people that hate black tie events, sort of thing. We're encouraging people to wear tuxedo T-shirts and thrift store dresses and things like that. We'll be serving champagne. We'll be serving the champagne of beers instead of champagne, Miller High Life. Some restaurants will be coming out and showing us their take on a classy presentation of lowbrow food. We've partnered with the library on this, and we've partnered with Toledo School for the Arts. The auction is the thing we're most excited about. The auction will be auctioning off between 10 and 12 Toledo experiences that you normally wouldn't be able to get. We'll be doing a group day of brewing with Maumee Bay Brewing Company. We'll be doing a tour of the Cadaver Lab at UTMC. We'll be, what are some other, overnight camping in Toledo Botanical Gardens. So that's going to be a great event, and tickets, unlike most black tie events in the city, tickets start at $25, not $100. So we have a $100 level for sure. For sure. Yeah, this is a good room. What am I thinking? All the tickets are $150. So we sort of feel like this is going to launch us into this will be our annual fundraiser, and this will launch us into next year. I think with these sort of programs and projects that we have in place, and some of the ones that are planned for the future, we've sort of made our vision. We've laid out our vision for the neighborhood. We want to make Adams Street as safe, as beautiful, as prosperous, and as weird as possible. And with that said, I just want to cover. I've got a few slides of some things, and I'll talk about those, and then we're going to get into some of the weird stuff, and I'll wrap it up. So when we talk about safety, one of the big things that we have done is we've opened up communications with the Toledo Police Department, especially our community officer, Berna Guy. She's fantastic, and we think that's hugely important. And one of the things we're currently working on is foot patrols. We want beat cops back, and it's a conversation that we've at least started. Who knows where it'll go, but we feel like that's the best way to police a community and a way for officers to become part of the community. Again, another thing when we talk about safety, we're looking at painting the crosswalks, having artists design ways to brighten up the crosswalks. We want the street to be safe for cyclists, for pedestrians, for cars. We want complete streets, and people have found that when you change the color in a street, it calms traffic. It helps safe crosswalks stand out to pedestrians and bikers. And with two schools on the street, Life Skills and Toledo School for the Arts, we think stuff like this is really important. When we talk about beautifying the neighborhood, this is a urban orchard in somewhere in the UK, and we love the idea of urban gardens, and think that they can be expanded beyond what we currently have. We're working right now with Toledo Botanical Gardens on a design for a cocktail garden, where we would grow things like hops for local brewers, juniper for local spirits companies. There would be a Bloody Mary garden for bars on the street, where they could grab anything that you would need to make a Bloody Mary. We also talk a lot about historical lighting, and it's a long project for us, but we've already started that conversation. We've had conversations with Edison where they've said, you guys figure out what you need to do, you guys get the funding, and you guys can do what you want, which is great, because we always thought going into this, there's no way. There are going to be all these roadblocks, and we're finding the more we reach out to these organizations, that now that we have an organization in place, people are really receptive to these ideas. This fits in with the Uptown Master Plan as well, to return the lights on the street to historical lighting. We talk about the street being prosperous. This goes back to during the Arts Commission third Thursday loops, we'll be holding the bazaar in the parking lot. We want everybody to get an opportunity to come out and sell things. We're not anywhere near critical mass for businesses on the street yet, and we need to come up with unique ways of using the space that we have. So that's one of the ways we're trying to do that. I don't know that the next one really fits in prosperous, but it's something that we talked about, and I know it's something that Gene really liked, and it's something that we want to replicate in other neighborhoods, and that's a terrible shot because it's getting cut off, but we want to put an outdoor conference room. We actually want to put 3 outdoor conference rooms around the city. I think that our street in particular has more daytime businesses, and we don't have a lot of offices, but if we could draw people to the neighborhood to have a meeting in an outdoor conference room built in a shipping container, all of a sudden there's more people spending time here, having their lunches here, visiting the shops that are open during the day. The next one is sort of a big thing, and when Gene asked us to do this, we were working on a project called Pop-Up Adams, and Pop-Up Adams died for the best reason. What Pop-Up Adams was an idea that we had come up with where for a week we were going to put pop-up stores in as many different storefronts along the street as we could. And at the end of that, as determined by the community, by experts, by our board, by tons of people with input, we were going to take one of those businesses and give them free rent for a year. And the reason that it failed is because we ran out of space. We got to a point where we ran out of spaces for the pop-up event, and we were going to rent pods. And then we ran out of storefronts to put the winner. So as a community organization that wants to fill up the storefronts, it's a great problem to have. As somebody that was already scheduled to speak here, it was a little strange. So we switched gears a little bit, and with some input from some of our executive committee members and from Mark Folk at the Arts Commission, we came up with an idea that is based on an idea out of Nashville or Memphis. I don't know. It's not in my notes. And essentially what it is a village of small buildings, 6 to 8 buildings, where stores can come rent inexpensively for a year. And so we started looking into prefab buildings. We started looking into where this empty lot could go. And the idea is that these businesses, you give them a year to start to develop in small square footage, inexpensive buildings, but that the businesses are able to work together on social media, to work together on marketing, and to bounce ideas off each other. We realize what a huge project this is, and it's going to be a big thing for us next year. But we feel like if the right organizations and the right community institutions get together on this is something that Toledo could see on Adams Street in a few years and potentially spread throughout the city. So we're also firmly of the belief that sort of artistic, creative, weird is where this neighborhood is going. We don't have a stadium, we don't have an arena, we don't have we don't have the density of the buildings, we don't have a riverfront, but we do things differently, and I think that's the draw to this neighborhood. So we're just going to show a couple before and after slides of some ideas that we've come up with, and some of them are way off the wall, some of them are maybe a little bit more grounded. All of them would be totally awesome, but we'll just go through them real quick. There's 4 or 5 alleys on this street, and we think that easily with a little bit of work you can improve these alleys. You can go to oh, there you go. Look at that. So this is umbrellas. Umbrellas hanging over a alley. Well, they're not. They're upside down. Don't worry about it. Go to the next one. We think that it's great that we have public art in this neighborhood, but that the public art in this neighborhood should be much bigger, and we should take every wall possible and paint on it. That's a work by our friend Natalie Lanise, and that's the biggest empty wall we could find in the neighborhood. What's next? All right, so this White Tower is disassembled and being stored right now. These were kits. They were post-World War II. They came on the back of a truck and got set up. This is somewhere in Toledo right now. We think that this could be put back together on Adams Street, and rather than serve as a White Tower, it could serve as a restaurant incubator, where restaurants come in for 3 months at a time, try it out, and see if they're a viable business.
That's awesome.
It's John Adams.
He's sort of impressed.
That is the one you guys told me to use. It's hard to find pictures of John Adams smiling.
On the side of the White House. That's hilarious.
All right. Let's go. So communities need more activity. There needs to be more things that you can go out and actively do. Toledo is probably not the best city for that as an example. I think people tend to go out and say, and I say this to my friends all the time, do you guys want to go to the bar or do you want to go see a movie? And I feel like I'm pretty plugged in too. So I just think we need more things to do. We need more things to do on the street, and we need more winter activities. So we think that there should be a skating rink in between Manos and Handmade Toledo. And some of these are a lot more feasible. I think that's more feasible than anything else we've shown. Whoa, you just wait. There's a lot of board members here who haven't even seen these yet, so none of this is board approved. This is all, I totally went rogue on this. All right, so, what's that? All right, so we talk about how we need more parks, but what if our parks could be strange and not sort of your typical park? I think I mentioned this before, but why don't we put a beach on Adams Street? Why couldn't we fill a lot with sand, throw a mural up, and have a beach on Adams Street? What's that? I think next one's my favorite. Okay, so neighborhood branding is really important. We're going to be working on that sort of as we develop as an organization and find what that brand is. But I think it's also important to tie Adams Street and the Uptown in general to the neighborhoods around it, specifically the Old West End. And so if we could put up an archway that marks where the Old West End and Adams Street meet, anybody that knows the Old West End knows what the unofficial mascot of the Old West End is. And the Old West End Flamingo Gateway.
We have to do that.
And as long as we talked about having a trolley loop, let's drop a trolley in there. I think the point of these slides was that we want to just start thinking differently about our neighborhood. That we want to come up with creative ways to define this place and to give it its own feeling and to build on the strengths that we already have. I would get in a lot of trouble with Zach, who is our treasurer, if I didn't talk about this real quickly. All of our information on sponsorship is available on our website, and it's really just a starting point. We specifically are looking for sponsors who want to do interesting things. If somebody comes to us and says, I want to build this new park, I want to see this new public work of art, I want to see this new event, can you guys help me create this? And we can, we're more than willing to work with that. And I think we may be one of the few organizations that when we say the weirder the better, we actually mean it. It's one of our strengths. So with that said, I would just encourage people to check out villageonadams.org. It's got sort of more of the information and a lot of what we talked about today in sort of a more concise manner. And I just want to thank everybody for listening to me ramble for a little bit.
Questions for Adam, and then if you have a question, I got to get to you with this. Anyone?
Where do we sign up for the bazaar?
Right here.
The question was, where can people sign up for the bazaar?
People can sign up for the bazaar at villageonadams.org. There is a sign up there. It's a $25 fee that you pay when you show up.
What are your plans for the new open carry law that are open?
Oh, so the question is, what are your plans for the new open carry
container.
law?
Container.
And then,
Carry. No more guns.
That's a good question. We are currently We're currently in communications with some members of City Council. We personally believe that we have a strong case to be that neighborhood, that one of the two neighborhoods. I would say the first neighborhood, because we're contained. We've dealt with big drinking crowds in the past. We're not as family oriented as some of the rest of the downtown area. We're really a neighborhood that's more geared towards adults after a certain time, after the school's let out. So we're working with, we've taken our concerns to City Council, and hopefully we will be one of the districts.
Yeah, well, I mean, the district is really an entertainment district, isn't it?
Yeah, we're already, the Adams. Well, there are 4 entertainment districts, and there are only 2 that can be named for the Open
Refreshment Act.
Open Refreshment Act. There you go. So, and cities also have the ability to hold those, and not put both of them out right away. So.
We want to be the pilot.
What are the other 3, by the way? I don't know.
The other 3 entertainment districts?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to tell you. I mean, I know the warehouse district.
I don't think the central business does, do they?
I don't know.
Can I get a Long Island to go?
Not yet.
More booze questions?
Would you like a beer?
Anyone else? No? Well, let's thank Adam again. You're going to hang out for a little while?
Yeah.
People want to chit chat?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.